After a long period of emotional protest, tonight there are signs of movement in the case of Trayvon Martin, the young unarmed man who was killed by a neighborhood watch volunteer in Florida. Tonight, the special prosecutor in the case has reached a decision that should advance this case to the next step now. It's where we begin tonight with NBC's Kerry Sanders in Sanford, Florida. Kerry, good evening.
Good evening, Brian. There is no indication if the special prosecutor who was appointed by the governor plans to file charges. But George Zimmerman's legal team confirms to NBC News that their client has set up a webpage and is soliciting donations for funds to help fund a defense if one is needed.
Special Prosecutor Angela Corey's office issued a short statement today that read in part, State Attorney Angela Corey has decided not to use a grand jury in the Trayvon Martin shooting death investigation and cautioned the decision should not be considered a factor in the final determination of the case. Corey has two options: bring charges against 28-year-old George Zimmerman in the shooting death of Trayvon Martin, or stick with the state attorney's initial conclusion and announce Zimmerman was in fear for his life that night and cannot be charged with a crime.
Whatever she decides, that's going to be the end of the matter. There is no appeal from a prosecutor's decision to charge or not charge.
Demonstrators today marched to Sanford's police department. Their sit-in closed the department for several hours until a surprise. Several were invited inside to take a phone call from the special prosecutor.
She didn't give us much details, but sort of seemed to hint that something will be coming very shortly. So we were very excited by that.
We want an arrest. We want a conviction.
Trayvon Martin's family has been front and center with some of the nation's leading civil rights leaders, all demanding an arrest. Their legal team says they are hopeful that a decision will be reached very soon to arrest George Zimmerman and give Trayvon Martin's family the simple justice they have been seeking all along. George Zimmerman's lawyers say they remain confident in his case.
It's an indication, I think, that she's probably close to the end of her investigation, and I think it's an indication she's going to make the decision based on the law and the evidence. That's all it really tells us.
The special prosecutor in this case has no deadline, but sources close to the case indicate that she could announce a decision as early as tomorrow. Brian?
Hey, Kerry, thank you. Kerry Sanders starting us off in Sanford, Florida tonight.